Last year, we rescued over 400 California sea lion pups. These were animals that were starving to death, that were going to die without the intervention of SeaWorld's rescue team. We are here round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to give these animals the help that they need. And my favorite part was when you got to return it to the wild, a healthy, nourished animal that you knew you were giving a second chance at life.
Blackfish makes a lot of false claims, and when it comes to caring for our animals, I know better, I work here. The truth is that we couldn't love these animals more. And every single day we are so committed to their health and well-being because that's what's important to us. That is the most important thing, is making sure that they're healthy and happy, not only for them as individuals, but for dolphins in their future. I would just ask people to please do some research and ask some questions and really, I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. It's our passion. We care for them. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. We're here if they need us, and we love them with all of our hearts.
Hi, my name is Missy, and I'm a killer whale trainer here at SeaWorld San Diego. We received a question from Danielle asking, are the killer whales allowed in the main pool when shows are not occurring? The answer is yes, they are. Throughout the day, our killer whales have access to multiple pools throughout our killer whale facility, including the main pool. When we're not doing shows and training sessions, we do offer the whales different types of enrichment, and this will include kelp, ice, snow piles, and you're going to see them swimming around, interacting with each other, and relaxing. Thanks for all the great questions. Keep them coming at AskSeaWorld.com.
John Hargrove was a very dear friend of mine for many years, and there's this footage in Blackfish of John with blood all over his face, right? And if you didn't know anything about SeaWorld or what goes on and you just watch this movie, you think, oh my God, a killer whale did that to him. No, he hit his head on the side of the pool, just jumping in a shallow area. So it had nothing to do with the animals at all.
Hi, my name is Allison, and I'm a killer whale trainer here at SeaWorld Orlando. We received a question from Annalise asking if killer whales could hear their trainers talking. Well, the answer is yes, they can hear us talking, but the more effective way to communicate with them is through hand signals, which asks them for behaviors, and our whistle, which lets them know that's what we were looking for, and that some type of reinforcement is on the way. Thanks for your question, Annalise. For more information, visit AskSeaWorld.com.
Conservation is not sitting back and criticizing. The activists sit back, they raise a lot of money, they spread misinformation, and they criticize. That's not really doing the work that is required to save these animals. And there are people here who are around the clock caring for these animals that have been rescued, rehabilitated, many released right here on our coastline. The animals that need our help, really, that happens all hours of the day, and SeaWorld is committed to being there and responding to those animals anytime, any place. There are people here at SeaWorld who will not be home for Christmas because they're out rescuing a manatee. That is the reality of conservation.
Hi, I'm Jody from SeaWorld's rescue team, and we got a really interesting question from Greg. And that question was, do we offer live fish to our animals before they're ready to be returned to the wild? We actually offer live fish to the animals at the start of their rehabilitation process. This is going to kick in their natural instinct to want to hunt and fish for these prey items. And it's almost like a light switch goes off. Then throughout the rehabilitation process, we can start to feed them sustainable, freshly frozen seafood. Before the animals are returned, they need to pass 4 criteria. They need to prove that they can catch and eat live fish. They need a clean bill of health from our veterinary team. They need to have gained a significant amount of weight so that they're returned at what would be a normal weight for a California sea lion in the wild. And they need to show that they can compete in an environment for food. We love the questions. Keep them coming at AskSeaWorld.com.
There's been a lot of lies circulating about how we take care of our animals here at SeaWorld. The truth is, SeaWorld is recognized as a world leader in animal care. But that's not what the groups behind the film Blackfish or PETA wants to make you to believe. In letters to schools, PETA accuses SeaWorld of keeping its killer whales in over-chlorinated tanks. I want to introduce you to Michael Tucker, who is in charge of maintaining water quality here at SeaWorld.
To test for chlorine, we use what's called a colorimetric test. The presence of a pink color denotes the presence of chlorine. As you can see right away, there's a lot of chlorine in our tap water. So the water that you actually use to brush your teeth, drink, and shower in has more chlorine in it than any facility here at SeaWorld.
We take great measure to ensure that the water our killer whales are swimming in is healthy. For instance, here at SeaWorld San Diego, we maintain what's called a natural seawater semi-open system. When it's time to bring in new water, we return the pool water back to Mission Bay, cleaner than it was when we brought it in. We also keep our pools at a perfect 58 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Now that may seem cool to us, but that's the perfect temperature for a killer whale. The truth is, at SeaWorld, we've dedicated our lives to taking care of these amazing animals. We know you love these whales, and we love them too.
The movie Blackfish asserts that we use food as the only motivator to work with our animals, and it's simply not true. Our animals receive all of their food, all of their nourishment, regardless of how they perform throughout the day. They do not have to come into the show to be fed. In fact, one of the bigger challenges that we have day in and day out, both with the whales, with the dolphins, with all of our animals, is holding them back and keeping them out of the shows. Much of their reinforcement, much of that food comes for just, hey, sitting back with me, hang out with me, have fun back here. The shows are inherently reinforcing for them because they enjoy doing them.
I didn't know it was going to happen, so I wasn't expecting it. And one day they say, okay, Sam, you're ready to go.
Fine, you got it?
You're going to stand on the whale. You're going to dive off the whale. The whale's going to swim under you and pick you up again. And then you're going to do a perimeter ride around the pool.
Good. Keep moving. Just right at full flight out.
They just told me to go do it, and I did it. Wow, I just rode a killer whale.
In the movie that you see with the woman swimming with the killer whale, that was me. That wasn't her. That was 2 years of my career leading up to that point that they twisted and took from me. The video that was used in the film was of my very first time getting in the water with a killer whale. It was one of the most amazing moments of my life, and I worked very hard to get to that point in my life. I studied biology and psychology. I specialized in behavior analysis. I spent 4 years getting my degree, and then I spent several other years getting experience at other facilities before I even came to SeaWorld. The one thing that I want people to know after watching the movie is that it's not true.
Killer whales raking each other, bottlenose dolphins using their teeth to interact with each other, and the resultant marks, those are rake marks. The suggestion that's been brought forward is that this is somehow abnormal, that this is an indicator of a problem. The truth of the matter is that all toothed whales and dolphins rake each other. This is how these animals interact with each other. That's absolutely the case. You'll see it in bottlenose dolphins and killer whales in the wild. And in fact, our killer whales have been living here for a long time. They are still killer whales, and they still interact with each other in a normal way, and rake marks are just part of that.
My name is Hendrik Nollens. I'm a veterinarian here at SeaWorld San Diego, and I want to correct some misinformation. In this video, these two so-called killer whale experts confuse a 10-month-old calf with a nearly 3-year-old whale here at SeaWorld San Diego. The 10-month-old calf weighs about 800 pounds. However, the whale you saw in the video is nearly 3 years old and weighs 2,130 pounds and eats 65 pounds of fish per day. He hasn't been observed to be nursing in several months. However, he does still do the bumping, he does still do a lot of pair swimming, and many other behaviors that we consider to be a normal part of developing and maintaining this mom-calf bond. To me, this error that you saw in this video actually highlights the opportunities that killer whale biologists have to learn and study from the whales here at SeaWorld. Killer whale biologists who only work with wild whales very rarely have the opportunity to watch a calf be born, to study nursing patterns and actually observe this mom-calf bond. Resting is a common natural behavior for killer whales. The southern resident killer whale ecotype spends about 10 to 21% of their time doing it. The transient killer whale ecotype spends between 2 and 7% of their time doing it. The behavior seems to be equally common in the SeaWorld killer whale ecotype. There are many things that we can still learn from the killer whales at SeaWorld. For example, our 10-month-old calf and her mom are currently enrolled in 3 separate research projects that are all aimed at helping understand and studying the growth and development of killer whale calves, both here and in the wild.
Every single day, I get to make these one-on-one connections with dolphins and children. And I have children myself, and to know what it means to this little bright-eyed child to meet a dolphin and then say, I'm gonna go home and start recycling. You know, to watch the parents and watch how they're just beaming with excitement that their child is getting to have this experience. Having these one-on-one connections with individual people matters to the big picture of our world. If there was a child that watched blackfish that had never had an opportunity to visit a zoo and they all of a sudden are asking questions, honestly, I would say, good for you. Ask questions. Do your own research. Don't just take something for face value. I'm impressed that you're asking questions. Find the truth.
One of the reasons I've been here at SeaWorld for 23 years is because every day I see that child that is touched and inspired like I was. I see myself. I was that child, and I think I may be making a difference. That child may dedicate their lives to caring for animals, protecting animals. That feels like a privilege.
Hi, I'm John. Recently we've received several questions regarding our killer whales and why we offer them gelatin. Well, that's a great question. We use gelatin as one of the ways to positively reinforce our killer whales. They have a lot of fun playing with it, and they eat it too. They seem to enjoy the consistency and the texture, and it's also an additional source of hydration for the whales. We have all different types of reinforcement that we offer our killer whales, things like ice cubes, snowballs, water pours, and even an ice back rub. And the whales really seem to enjoy these.
Hi, I'm Tanner. We've received a lot of questions through Ask SeaWorld about what it takes to become a killer whale trainer. Well, everyone's path is different. I started here about 10 years ago, and I got my degree in psychology, and I did some internships working with other species of animals. And here at SeaWorld, I've worked not only with our killer whales, but with our otters, sea lions, and walruses. And when we look to hire new trainers, we prefer people with a psychology or animal science degree. You have to be a strong swimmer. We've got a swim test that you have to pass in order to get an interview for the job. And you have to have a passion for animals.